All right, guys, welcome to Glass Culture Podcast episode 2. And today we've got a doozy. We're going to be talking about the Chinese spy balloons. We're going to be talking about what the hell happened at the 2023 Grammys. We're going to be talking about the evolution of Australian text scammers. And we're going to be talking about Knock at the Cabin, latest M. Night movie. I'm Dan.
And I'm Jay.
All right, we're going to cue the intro.
Just before we get into it, just like to say thank you to all the subscribers that we've got. We've got 300 plus so far, and we had over 2,000 views on our last video. So thank you for all the support, everyone.
Yeah,
Although there was a negative message on one of our DMs that we got, I just
that's
thought we'd
right.
kick it off with that because it was quite interesting. So as I was going over the messages, one really stood out to me, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
So it was someone that will remain anonymous. They said, wow, just another two white guys doing another podcast.
That's right. You heard
So,
it first.
yeah, so, I love the support. We are two white guys and we are doing a podcast. So, thanks for the support there. We
It's
hope
quite
to
obvious, but
deliver
yes.
more content like this in the future for you.
Yes, we'll have to directly message that one individual every episode. Just
Hmm.
keep them in the loop. But yes, that was good. And we won't elaborate on the story any more than that. Um, we'll get straight into it. What do you reckon, Jay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Now you have got a lot more information on this than I will, so I'm going to shut up a little bit, which is hard for me. But we're going to be talking about something recent in America, the
Spy
Chinese
balloons.
spy balloons. There we go. Take me through it.
Well, if you have been living under a rock for the last week, there was this big balloon shape that was floating through the sky of America. It was apparently there for like over 6 days, floating around, just cruising around, and they eventually, Biden and that decided enough was enough and decided to shoot it down. Um, yeah, so if you can see, it traveled over Alaska and
This is
went
what
through
you sent
Canada.
me.
And yeah, the Chinese claim that it went off course, and it was just a weather balloon. Um, I'd like to say that I think it is true, that it was just a weather balloon. And I think the media is pushing it out there that it was, some kind of spy propaganda from China, just to raise more tensions of what's going on with the Russia-Ukraine situation. Um, but yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me when you look at how cheaply these balloons cost. Because one of these balloons to make is probably 100 grand or so,
Hmm.
um, and it's literally just made of like picture like a thin plastic bag kind of material. Um, and they use like helium or stuff like that, and they um they put it up, and I think they had like solar panels attached to it and stuff like that.
Assume
Um,
that have people controlling it on the Chinese end as well.
yeah, there was some electronics which I think fell into the Pacific, I think it was, which they're trying to get back, um, recover the wreckage from that from after it was shot down, obviously. Um, but I mean, to the extent that it took to put one of these fighter jets up there to shoot it down, it wasn't just a couple of dollars. It was well over $2-3 million. When you factor in having to pay these pilots, the jet itself, the fuel they had to basically shut down an airport, and have delays through the whole thing. They had
So the
to
US lost.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had to have another plane that was up there basically tracking it to block all the computer things that it was the data that it was receiving and putting out. So it was quite an expensive operation,
Mm,
just to get rid of a little balloon. Not so little because it was the size of 3 school buses.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, like there's apparently, could be tens to 30s of these things up there that we don't know about. So how do
I think they.
what was your initial thoughts then when you heard about this coming out?
Well, I know that they use these kind of things in World War Two, but I didn't really think of it at the
Yeah, because
time.
it was Japan, wasn't it? That actually,
Japan used them
yeah,
as part of their process. And I think because of the fact it's cheaper, you can try to avoid radar as much as possible. So I think they've got that kind of stuff, and it can surprisingly hold a lot of weight.
yeah.
I know that these ones here they said could hold 7,000 pounds, which is about 3,000 ish kilos. So what is that 3,000 kilos that it's holding? Is it just surveillance? Is it just the solar panels? Is there more to it that's been hidden from the public? That's what I'm fascinated by.
I actually think if I was to be a conspiracy theorist here, I think that they were probably trying to get over Alaska and have a look down with their sonar radars and stuff like that because there's a lot of oil and natural resource gases and stuff like that and minerals all through the Atlantic, uh,
Untapped.
and Antarctic. Yes, thanks for pulling me up on that. Um, yeah, that is yet to be discovered, and I know that I'm pretty sure the US and Russia have, you know, some some ties to it, but China doesn't have any ties to it at all, besides through like different mile and oil companies. So yeah, I think
Because
that way they were just basically having a look for resources through that.
don't trying to get their oil and their gas and their natural resources from Russia,
Yeah, yep,
and currently that's obviously put in a bit of a predicament with the whole war situation that's going on. So maybe they're literally trying to find ways of just sourcing it themselves, and this is one cheeky way of trying to do that.
yeah, definitely,
So I thought that was pretty fascinating. But obviously it's still developing. News is still coming out. And you
yep,
did share a really interesting video on that, which I might just link below for people that might want to have a bit of a look at it as well. But moving away from hardcore world politics and news of that nature, what happened in the last week in entertainment that fascinated you?
the Grammys, the satanic rituals that they do there.
That's right. I won't play any clips because we will be immediately flagged. We tried that with the Tupac Coachella clip last time, and that came back to bite us. But we'll add a couple of images. You maybe haven't seen all these images, but this is Sam Smith in his adornment. What does this make you feel?
That he is either part of some kind of ritual of these elite people, or he's a very smart man and he's marketing just right that he knows that people are going to start talking about it, looking back, and get his name more talked about in the media and the spotlight.
I think that's actually really really correct. And who else knows better than Lady Gaga with moments where she got puked on by a woman, which we won't
turn,
show the
turn,
video,
turn
but
away if you play that clip.
yeah, I don't know if I can play the clip, but it was from a few years ago, and she paid somebody to a vomit artist to well,
Disgusting.
vomit on her, and that was in 2014. And I assume she obviously emptied her stomach and just consumed, green slime of some description. But yeah, that was. Is it what is it? Any publicity is good publicity.
That's what they say. But when you actually go through and you actually start looking into the uh, the music industry as it is, even if you go to like other artists and stuff like that, you can actually see these signs and these weird, we've all heard the story of, oh, play this track backwards and it's like worshiping the devil and stuff like that. Like there's been name drops of like certain things, like,
Yeah.
or oh, this person's dressed up as the devil, or they're doing this to a baby and sacrificing it, and in the film clip, and there's different things and Illuminati signs and all kind of things that I don't know.
What's happening behind the scenes that we actually don't know. This is the stuff that they're actually bragging about. But I did make a couple of funny images that I wanted to share to a wider
Uh,
audience.
the
I
Sam
showed
Smith,
you
yeah.
Sam Smith. This is his album cover for something called Perfect. Uh,
which is honestly disgusting. Like, it's not even the fact, you know, that he's gay or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't want to see anyone, a woman, straight male, no one should be dressed like that on an album cover. If it was in
it
the
doesn't.
album, like, that's a different story again. But on the front cover of an album where kids or anything can see visibly, I think is disgusting.
Yeah, yeah. It also doesn't look particularly comfortable as well. But I did tweak the image. I updated it for a modern audience. Maybe our
All right, that's
barbecue lovers out there. Uh,
fair.
I think it's a bit better.
Ready to
Um,
put in the oven.
exactly, just ready.
Yeah.
I'll get that screen off there. But I did like that. It was a bit of fun making that on the old Twitter. Obviously, follow us on Twitter, guys. Our tags are just beneath our beautiful faces. But that is what happened at the Grammys. Besides Madonna's face, did you see this?
I have seen some images. I know she definitely. Apparently, people are saying she looks like Jigsaw.
Yes, she apparently looks like Jigsaw right here, and I gotta say, people are pretty.
Mean.
It's people are mean. Yeah, this is Reddit. Reddit were actually pretty quick to remove this image. But I mean, it's pretty clear to me. When's the last time Madonna was relevant? Do you remember?
When she kissed Britney Spears.
I was going to say the last time she was relevant was when she sang one of the theme songs for one of the Austin Powers movies, which would have been probably 20 years ago. Harry Styles here dressed as, I don't know what you would call that as possible. Um,
I think his uh, dress outfit, the sparkly dress outfit that he had, um, which he sang his song in, that was quite sparkly.
quite out there. I actually really like Harry Styles. His music, I really, really, really like it. His fashion sense, however, no.
I think a lot of celebrities and artists these days, they're really trying to push beyond the boundaries and just get talked about.
That was, you know, what happened at the 2023 Grammys. I can't tell you who won any awards because I don't really care, to be
I,
completely honest.
I know Beyonce
Um,
won a lot of awards, which I think was actually rigged. I don't believe that she really deserved all those awards. I think back in her heyday, she would have probably been more deserving. But
did she
you
get
know,
denied?
actually, did you know one thing? Did you
Yeah,
know who sponsored the Grammys?
I don't even want to guess.
Pfizer.
They've
Hmm.
definitely got the money, don't they?
Well, yeah, definitely have a little bit of extra cash flow there, don't they?
I wonder how they got that. Um,
Might not stay on that topic too long though. We'll
well,
drift
yeah,
off of that.
we don't really want to get
Just want to
demonetized
raise the attention to everyone that
and
it was
cancelled.
sponsored by Pfizer,
Yeah, it's a good on you, Pfizer. Um,
making the world better.
yeah, make it a little better. Exactly. There is a pistol just over there pointed at me. I'm going to say that. Um, but that's the Grammys. Very interesting, if you ask me. And I was hoping we could talk about some craziness with Australian text scammers. Have you been getting text messages, or do you know someone who's getting text messages?
Uh, I mean, I think we all have got emails and texts, like the basic ones of congratulations, you've won an iPhone, or congratulations, one of your aunties has won $1 million and they've left it to you. You just gotta put in your details here and claim the $1 million.
There's always an
Um,
African prince that has billions of dollars that you need to just kind of give your details for, and they'll transfer the
there's
money to you.
There is definitely some funny ones that I've heard of, like, "Hi, it's Michael Jackson. I'm just in hiding. Um, you know, I really need some money. Oh, can you send me $1,000 and I'll send you $100,000 back. I just need to, get a plane ticket, etc. etc. etc."
Have you seen the celebrities? A lot of celebrities now have to literally put out a tweet saying that they never text message their fans for money because it's happening so frequently and people are actually doing this. There was somebody who actually helped out a female wrestler, which female wrestlers are very attractive, so maybe he thought there was something in it for him. He helped out a female wrestler. He took out a massive mortgage on his house and transferred the scammer like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was obviously never the female wrestler, the WWE wrestler, asking for money. So she had to come up with a statement. Basically,
That's that's the thing. Like, I think they're getting so advanced. Like, we all know about the little scams and stuff, and we expect our grandparents and our parents to get conned into these things. And you're like, "Mom and Dad, you're stupid. You got sucked in. Blah blah blah." But they're actually getting pretty good. Like, I received one through Optus before the Optus hack happened and was mainstream. So I received a text message from Optus through the Optus servers, basically saying that my account hadn't been paid and to pay it. Otherwise, I'm going to get a fine, like a fee, a fine.
yeah.
Um, and I didn't click on the link. I don't click on links. Um, but I just thought it sounded weird. So I
Mm.
called them the next day, and I said, basically, can you let me know what the last text message you guys sent me through your server? And they couldn't actually see that message on their end. So the last one was obviously my details for my bill, but they couldn't actually see the next message, which was the message that I received from the scammer. And I read it back to them, and they're like, "That's not on our records." And I was like, "Wow, okay, cool."
They're getting so believable. Something crazy. You brought this up. All the satanic stuff got us talking about the Australian Cardinal George Pell, who passed away. And I know he's a bit of a creep. What can you tell me about this man?
That apparently, in the eyes of the law, he was innocent.
Yeah, very very weird.
He he either knows some very influential high people up there, and somehow gets off, and everyone seems we hold a parade for him and all this kind of jazz and spend taxpayers' money and everything to bury this guy into a ceremony, which, yeah, I
Well,
think is disgusting.
he was held in such high esteem for such a long amount of time, and then everything came out very recently, obviously. That I think people have just kind of remembered the decades of service instead of the actual real world implications. There are people that are alive right now today that have to live with the consequences of what he knows or maybe has done, but it just gets pushed to the side. So I think it's a bit
I really think we
crazy.
as a society need to actually start, um, when these people come up or these people get exposed or these brands get exposed, we need to start doing what America does in a way that they kind of like, what's the word, like they protest with their wallets.
Yeah, that they object with their wallets.
Yeah. So, like, don't support these companies. don't watch these films, don't go to the movies to see these people, don't buy their albums, don't, just I think that's the only way that we can protest against these kind of political people. And hopefully there's some people that are in a bit more power that can actually bring these people to justice.
Yeah, I mean, take for example Disney. They've lost 123 billion dollars, and their stocks have basically through stocks dropping because people have been protesting the programming that they have, and obviously people are speaking with their wallets. And Disney have had to fire 3% of their workforce, which equates to 7,000 people. So the real people that work for Disney pay because of Disney's CEOs. I guess you could call it woke propaganda. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. People are starting to pick up on it.
It definitely gets worse when they start um, pushing that kind of content and agenda on kids. I think that's when people really start to go, "Hey, it's not right." You know what I mean? It takes until that stage. You know what I
Mm,
mean? A lot of times people just turn a blind eye, or you know, it's none of my business. But when it starts being pushed onto the kids, and you're like, "Hang on, like kids shouldn't be. They should be kids having fun." Just
mm.
everything's and not having stuff pushed in their face and different agendas. And yeah, well, that's why obviously they're losing a lot of money because a lot of people are standing up for it. So
I was hoping to talk about one of the movies that I watched recently. Really, really liked it. But have you heard of M. Night Shyamalan's new movie?
no, I have not.
No. Okay. Knock at the Cabin stars Dave Bautista. Pretty big dude. Pretty big, large, formidable frame.
But based on a video game or a book or
Based on a book. Based on a book.
yep, okay,
So the book is also, it's a gay couple, which is great, and but they're not like in your face. They're just kind of like regular dudes, like you and me, for example. They've adopted a daughter. They go to a cabin, and four people show up and tell them they have to kill one of themselves or the daughter. But one of those three has to die. Otherwise, plagues will overrun humanity, and everybody will die except for those three people. And they decide not to kill themselves, and then these four, people, the intruders, start killing themselves in their house, just brutally, until they all kill themselves. And then they notice that the plagues have really started to pick up. There's actually plagues that have been going on while these four intruders have been in the house. And then they decide to actually kill one of themselves. So one of the men kills his lover. The other man says, "I'm okay with it." And as soon as that happens, the twist of the movie is spoilers. Spoilers. Put this up here. Spoilers. The twist of the movie is that once one of the uh, same-sex couple kills the other, that's when the plagues stop, and that's when Earth just gets restored. And I think that's the really craziest twist of a movie. Um, would you ever see this movie?
no.
No. I know you don't watch a lot of M Night, so that's perfectly fine.
I
There
actually
are some.
don't think he's done very good stuff, to be honest. That's in my personal opinion. Um, but at the moment, um, again, I'm paying with my wallet on a
Yeah.
lot of different things, and until there's like more of a level ground at the moment things are just so out of control that even something like this is probably perfectly fine.
Mm,
It's just no, I'm not until things get back, die down, equal themselves out a bit. Then
yeah.
yeah,
Have you noticed that a lot of movies, big budget movies, start a tiny bit slower? Like the new Avatar that didn't have a great opening, but it actually didn't open super strong. It's almost like a large portion of people wanted to see if it was work propaganda before they went to see it, so they waited to see reviews, they waited to
Yep.
hear feedback before they flooded the cinemas.
Yeah, because a lot of the times what will happen is the media will say, "Oh, this movie is breaking records," and et cetera, et cetera. When it's a really quite a woke movie, just
Mm,
to get people to go and watch it, and then
yeah,
people don't go to see it because they're like, "I don't buy that at all,"
yeah,
and it comes out that it ends up that it was a flop movie.
exactly. Yeah, like Disney's Strange World, for example. If you took your kids to see that, you would have had to have explained these things to these kids, where you really just want the kids to be entertained by a fun movie. You don't want to have to sit there and explain complex, you know, adult relationship type stuff with, a 6-year-old who doesn't need to know that stuff yet,
Mm.
in
It's
my
a
opinion.
shame. Yeah,
It,
it's a
it
shame.
is, it is. Knock at the Cabin actually wasn't too in your face. It wasn't, these guys weren't wearing bright pink and acting super flamboyant. They were just regular dudes. I appreciated that. It made me really feel like, yeah, they get it. Not everyone is this caricature of a, gay character. And Dave Bautista was by far the best part of the movie, but the movie's entire plot was just absolutely boring.
I mean, if you look at
Yeah.
movies that have done well lately,
Hmm.
they've all been like classic, good American movies, or just things that are just generally good movies. Don't have any political agenda,
Yeah.
don't have any push on any left or right ways, and they've done fantastic at the box office. So it's not like the media can say, which I've seen them trying to say, that all the movies were flopping because of the pandemic and stuff like that. It's not true. There
Well, you
was
had
movies
Spider
that were
Man.
coming. Yeah, there was movies that were coming out that were smashing it. They were breaking a lot of records.
Yeah.
Some even in China, I thought China or Japan, one of the movies absolutely knocked it out the ballpark.
Yeah.
It was an anime of some type. But yeah, just I think the media will blow everything out, to whichever
People
they
will
way they
go.
want.
People will go to the cinemas if it's worth it. You had Spider Man. You had Top Gun. You had
Yeah,
Avatar. Great movie. You had
yeah.
Minions: Rise of Gru. All of those movies were movies where you can go. You can be entertained. You're not worrying about today's problems. You're just going to watch a movie, be distracted.
Well, as it's been a busy week in sports, we should probably cover the NBA and the NFL just quickly. We'll chuck it over to the NBA. Some big moves that have happened. Kevin Durant is on the move, I hear.
Yeah, Suns.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Um, I think it was like 4 first round draft picks and a couple of players. But yeah, he is now on the Suns. How do you feel about that?
I feel like how did the Nets not ask for Devin Booker or something? How did they just get? I mean, they won because they got heaps of picks, but I expected a superstar for superstar when I initially heard that news.
Championship team or nah?
I'm conscious of their injury history. I'm conscious of Chris Paul just pulling a hammy. Devin Booker seems to be frail. Aiton, big man, knees and ankles are always a problem. And KD had an Achilles tear, a couple of years ago. There are some potential looming issues, but if there's no issues, man, they are the team to beat.
They've definitely got to be the favourites. Definitely
Oh
got
yeah,
to be the favourites. And your Lakers.
Lakers, yeah, Lakers are my team for anyone playing at home. Lakers did some good moves. They got rid of Westbrook, which is, not amazing. He didn't really perform the way they wanted. They got some great rotation pieces. They also got D'Lo back, which I'm really, really happy about. And obviously, just before that, they got Rui Hachimura, who is from the Wizards, and one of my favorite players that nobody seems to talk about. So, got some wing defense, and yeah, they made some moves. Let's talk about your team.
Miami Heat. We did absolutely nothing.
So, did
We
they
got
get any
nobody.
superstars? No.
No, no. Look, I'm hoping for the buyout. So maybe we can pick up Russell Westbrook, the guy that you got rid of. I actually generally think it'd be good on my team. Maybe John Wall as a possible candidate. Sergi Ibaka, I think he could fit in quite well for some minutes off the bench
Hmm.
against certain teams that have bigs and stuff like that. So, a couple of pieces that I'm hoping that we pick up because I'm not sure we can run it back with the team that we got.
I mean, you've got a lot of players, but yeah, you're right. You're waiting for that buyout market by the looks of it. There doesn't seem too many buyers for Lowry at all.
No.
No.
So Sunday is in America, which will be the Super Bowl. So
Yeah,
Super Bowl will be on Monday, Australia time. Um, who do you think's going to win, Chiefs or the Eagles?
I'm a bandwagoner, as you personally know, but I'm a bandwagoner for anyone out there. Obviously, I'm a Lakers fan. Um, so I'm going for the Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes. I one NFL jersey and it happens to be a Mahomes, so I kind of have to go for them. To be honest,
Yeah, well, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. Um, so we did not do very well. But look, I actually put a bet very early on in the season on the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So
legit.
yeah, so it was paying very, very good odds. So hoping that rides. But secretly though, I'm hoping that the Chiefs win. I have a mate who follows the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's already got a Super Bowl on me. Um, so I don't want him to get another one on me. So Eagles, I hope you lose.
You're kind of between a rock and a hard place because you've got that bet on, but if you win that bet, you also have to hear about the Eagles winning.
Oh, I won't hear the end of it.
Well, that was good. We ended on a light side, which is good. I know we didn't want to end on a hardcore topic like scammers, the crazy Grammys, or Chinese spy balloons. I think ending on a high note is probably a good thing. What with us just being just two regular white guys that have just started a podcast.
Yes, two white guys.
That's right. So we're going to be doing this fortnightly. So we're going to be pretty much coming out every couple of weeks and then a couple of days of editing to bring the best quality content that we possibly can. So we're obviously going to see you guys in 2 more weeks.
We will be bringing on a few guests and stuff like that in the future. So just trying to organise and work out the finer details with a few of those things. So
Yep,
there definitely will be some guests, some big name people. So yeah,
very excited to get some people on and have some less or more crazy discussions depending on who they are and if they're crazier than us. All right, guys, I've been to Antidote.
and I'm Jay.